Has been a while.
Last pod together, Anthony.
No, we did one.
We did one.
5 months.
Did one. Terrible uploads, remember?
Oh, that's
So
right.
it's basically the Chronicles of Anthony.
it was
Then,
either-
this podcast.
You've become the main attraction, mate.
Seriously, you gave us a good
Nice.
excuse
Let's
to
get the
back
band
together
back
and
together
actually
because
do
the Foo Fighters can't.
That's true, mate.
one. Have you? That's
Shout
funny.
out to Tony.
Have you got your tour dates available? 'Cause your
Yeah,
website
don't worry
wasn't
about my
loading them up.
website. Needs a lot of fixing. But yes, the Perth Comedy Festival is on the 6th and the 7th of May.
Yeah,
Okay,
don't worry
yeah,
about it.
yeah,
I'll,
probably.
I'll tell you to tell us.
That's on. All right. Yeah.
We're going to
Have
get
you guys
tickets. We're
bought
bringing
the
the
tickets yet?
Jerry's.
You
I
gotta
think.
get
I'm doing the Friday. It's fine. First night.
First night,
Bring-
bang bang.
That's
Bang,
it.
bang.
So have we
Big
started?
night.
Have we started recording yet? Is my awesome Foo
You're gonna-
Fighters joke? It's not going to be in the podcast.
We're recording, but it doesn't mean that.
Use
We
it
haven't
as a
started the
soundbite.
official
The
podcast.
Foo Fighters joke. It's time.
I'll put it as
nice.
I'll put it as an outtake.
Actually, the Men in Black's probably pretty appropriate for the whole Will Smith week too. So, yeah, that's actually not a bad one.
that's
too.
what I was
Men in
thinking.
Black 4.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started.
All right, so just a quick rundown things that I thought we'd talk about. Obviously, Oscars, because that was just fucking hilarious, and the whole Chris Rock comedian angle. Your tour dates and a little bit about your comedy tour. Obviously, the great Azzurri result. We've got Shane Warne Memorial happening today. I don't know
Not
if you're into
remotely,
cricket
but
or
I'll talk about anything.
Anthony. All right. Anyway, we'll just go and jump around to a bunch of different topics, and I'm sure it'll be interesting, just like last time.
Go,
Let's
mate.
do it.
Do it.
Ready? All right, everybody. Welcome back to the Chronicles on the Fly podcast. We haven't seen you for a little while, but we got the band back together. It's Simon here with Mel, Dom, and again our special guest.
Hey,
Welcome,
going, lads.
Sure. Where are you coming
I'm at
in
home.
from?
Yep,
Anthony?
I
You're
am, but
home,
I've
or-
been relegated to the bedroom because my girlfriend is on a work call in the living room. So it's a
Right. Now you're are you currently on
Yep,
your Australian
technically
comedy
in
tour?
smack bang in the middle of it, but I am home in Sydney for a week and a half in between Adelaide and Melbourne. So I go to Melbourne next week.
Awesome. How
It's been good.
how's
It's
the
been good.
tour been so
I've
far?
only done Adelaide so far. Was there for a week, did 6 shows. They sold pretty well, all in all. I managed
Didn't get
to work.
slapped.
Did not get
Didn't get
slapped
slapped?
this time, but it's interesting that you mentioned that because I have a lot to say about it. Yeah, exactly. I
Hasn't
haven't
been to Perth yet.
I hear I have a lot of very upset people there. It's good. It's been good. Very good.
Brilliant. Yeah, well, we're looking forward to you coming over because Dom's getting
Of
tickets
course
for
I am.
us. So
That's
all
what
of
I
them.
do, isn't it?
We were messaging each other during the week earlier this week. Well, it is
Third
already
time's
early
the
this
charm,
week.
guys. I've had Perth
a couple
shows the
days
last
ago.
2 years in a row, and they've been cancelled 2 years in a row. So I've still got the Qantas credit. I've still got the same Qantas credit from 2020. I'm just using that. Yeah, it's
Same
straight up.
hotel
Shifting.
booking and
It's
everything.
crazy.
Yeah. So we're looking forward to coming along and see if you can make us laugh. I'm sure you will. Now, by the way, tell us when you will be here.
So
for,
I
the Perth
arrive
dates.
on the 3rd of May, and I'm doing a few of the Perth Comedy Festival galas throughout the week. 3rd of May is a Tuesday, and then my show is going to be on the 7th and the 6th of May at the Regal Theatre in Subiaco. Is that how you say that? Suburb?
That's it. Subiaco.
Nailed it. And I think
Subiaco,
around 7:30, something like that. And the show is called Don't Call Me a Wog.
Nice.
We won't. Sounds good. All right, so you're going to be here for what, about 4
yeah,
or so days?
I'll be there Tuesday to Sunday.
Okay. Almost a week. All right.
We'll
beautiful.
definitely have time,
We'll have time for a beer.
Definitely
Maybe
have time for a beer.
Good stuff. And maybe even a live podcast. We'll go down to the
that'd be
studio
great.
and
We'll
do
have
a
an
podcast.
Uzo and Coke
That'd be
as
awesome.
well. For your
That would
Greek
be
half.
great, gentlemen. I'll have anything. I'll take both.
We've got some poison from
and also
from
our
the farm
listeners,
somewhere, I think, don't we, Mabel? Somewhere, some grappa that's been issued to us.
Yeah, got
that's
some grappa line around
definitely above percentage requirements. It's almost petrol, I think, at this point.
Battery acid.
Yeah.
Our listeners might be aware from last time, I'm sure, if they heard the podcast, that you also have your own podcast, the Kevin Lasagna Appreciation Podcast, and you were telling me a week or two back that you might be making some
I can't
changes.
reveal
What's
anything
happening
just yet, but I have something in the pipeline, which is why the Kevin Lasagna Appreciation Podcast has been on a brief hiatus for a couple of weeks. That and it's a bit hard to do when I'm touring, but yeah, definitely.
I've got to say, probably one of my favourite episodes was the one with Fabio Quagliarella.
That was amazing.
Amazing.
Oh, what a story!
What a story.
Yeah.
It's
I had
crazy.
no idea.
I was just
What a
mentioning it. I was mentioning it to Melo before.
Yeah,
I was
that's-
like, man, that podcast was awesome. I actually had stopped. I stopped at work, and I parked, and there was like 7 minutes left, and I was like, nah, I'll just rock up to work late because I got to hear the last 7 minutes. It was awesome. It was such
Awesome
a wicked
podcast.
podcast.
Thank you. It's just an insane story what this guy had to go through. He was one of my favorite players in the early 2010s, and crazy backstory.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I like the one that you were talking about, Kaiser, as well, the non-professional footballer who went through a whole career of not playing,
what a
but
guy!
getting
Just a
paid.
bullshit
for
artist.
different
The
clubs.
honestly, the
Hilarious.
Australian dream, getting paid for nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was
He's
Brazilian.
Brazilian, right? Yeah. I haven't been able to
I
find.
think
the
it's on
documentary about
Amazon,
it,
but I'll have to check my.
What was the
Is it?
game where the team lost 137-0 or something like that?
It was in the Madagascan or the Mauritian
That's right, yeah, the
league,
Madagascan
and
league.
they protested a result in the previous game by having their team score like 130 own goals or something. And somehow they just let it go. They just let the farce continue.
I'm trying to find that on YouTube. I'm gonna look
Nothing
for
like
it.
football shit housery.
Yeah, probably the only game in history
Yeah,
that the winning
right.
team hasn't got a touch.
Exactly. Speaking of letting the farce continue, did you guys watch the Oscars?
Oh, saw the slap.
I thought you were going to talk about the Azzurri there for a moment when you said
the farce is
letting
over
farce
for the
continue.
Azzurri. The farce is not continuing. It's the end of the farce.
Yeah.
The funny thing about the whole Oscars, like, down on viewers, but literally everyone saw the slap. Like, I don't think anyone watched the Oscars, but everyone has seen the slap, hands down.
Yeah, it's almost like it was staged.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there's that conspiracy theory
100%
going
staged,
around. Where do you stand on
man.
that?
Have you guys ever seen WWE? He ducked his chin. He maintains eye contact with Will Smith the whole time. He leans in with his chest. Will Smith pulls his slap, so he only slaps with his forearm. He doesn't engage the elbow or the shoulder, and he just taps him. And then exactly, and Chris
It's
Rock makes no
fingertips as
attempt
well,
to hit
it's
him
not the
back or
full
anything.
palm.
It's total theater.
But how thrown was
He was
rocked. Chris Rock, you know what I mean? Like he was
Yeah,
very
so
off his game.
almost like he's
after that.
hosting an award ceremony for acting.
I don't know how I didn't think that you could fake how shaken up he was. You know what I mean? His voice was shaken. I didn't think he. If it was staged,
Chris
they
Rock
went
is a
over for it,
vastly
that he didn't
underrated
expect,
actor.
at
You've seen
least.
The Longest Yard.
Brilliant movie.
Cracker.
Great
My
movie.
top 3 Adam Sandler movies, and that's a big call.
Yeah, I reckon
Top
it
3
is too.
Adam
To
Sandler
be
movies.
honest, I reckon
That's
it
a
is
big
too.
call.
So if it's staged, apart from
Mm-hmm.
the Academy's extra ratings bump that they sorely needed, who benefits? How does Chris Chris Rock will benefit because a lot of more
His ticket
sales,
sales
which I've already heard has
and
happened for his tour.
everybody's talking.
Yeah. But how
everybody's
does
talking about Will Smith.
benefit? Okay, but you probably knew that he was going to win Best Actor award. Isn't that
Who won the Best Actor last year?
Like, what does he need out of it?
Exactly.
I couldn't tell you Best Actor.
I don't watch it.
You're gonna be talking about Will Smith smacking Chris Rock for years. It's def. And by the way, just for Dom, who else was in The Longest Yard? That movie?
Well,
Goldberg,
how far do we want to go?
Stone Cold Steve Austin, Kevin Nash, all the wrestlers teaching Chris Rock how to take a punch properly.
Man,
the
I'm
big
telling
guy,
you, Longest
Bob.
Yard's
Bob.
such a good
What was that? Big guy,
Mate.
Bob. Oh,
yeah,
big
Bob
guy.
Stapp.
Bob Tap. Yeah, it's Bob Sapp.
I got to admit, when I saw it, my first thought was, this is a setup. But as fast as the thought came to me, I dismissed it, and I thought,
All right, you guys want to talk about
too real.
You guys want to talk about a farce?
You've given me something to.
You guys want to talk about a farce?
You give me something to think about.
This is fresh, boys. This is like this
fresh,
happened.
mate.
This happened 45 minutes ago. So I'm okay. So I don't know if you guys saw this, but so I actually got punched in the face on stage a few years ago.
I was going to ask you about this one, yeah. Because obviously
so I
we've
put
seen
up,
the
I
YouTube
put up the
clip
clip
about it.
couple of, in light of the Chris Rock, and another violent.
Well, he would slap. He does actually slap.
That's gone a different direction, man, I think.
Well, he would have slapped Jada. Anyway, I put this video up, and I was like, in light of, like, just so you guys know, I got Will Smith a few years ago. And yesterday, randomly, this comedian that I know who writes for the Newcastle Herald, who have affiliates with like the Canberra Times and a whole bunch of other publications, he was like, "Bro, can I do an interview with you?" So we did an interview, and he put this really cool article together very quickly, and did a very cool video where it kind of interspersed. We did a similar thing like this. We did a Zoom interview, and it interspersed my joke, the Will Smith thing, and the interview that we did, and it was a cool little video, and it was like, this has happened before to comedian Anthony Locascio, blah, 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 blah. And I was really excited about it. I posted it all over my socials. And then earlier today, a friend was like, "Hey, I'm clicking the link and it's not working." And I messaged the guy who wrote the article saying, "Hey, I think maybe they might have taken it down." And he came back to me 45 minutes ago and said, "Yeah, they have taken it down. Apparently my editor thought that your joke might offend some people." So the article's gone now. Yeah.
What?
The joke
What was the joke?
The joke was...
I can't remember off the top of my head.
I'm so scared of men that have neck tattoos that if I was a girlfriend and a guy with a neck tattoo smacked her in the face in front of me, I would probably just break up with her. Like, that's...
And that's
the idea is that I'm a coward. The idea is not that I'm condoning violence or anything.
Exactly. So you're in their opinion, you're being offensive to your girlfriend or guys with neck tattoos?
Actually. That's a good point. Guys with neck tattoos.
Because guys with neck tattoos, I don't think they'd really give a shit about being offended. Mostly. But then I'm making the same assumption as you, right? In a way. So that's where we're...
Maybe he offended Chris Brown. It's possible.
Just
that whole joke.
Hilarious. This is the world we live in. It's this wokeism bullshit, and we've talked about this many times on this podcast. Not that we've done one recently, obviously, already. But wokeism is just destroying the world, and it's the reason why Will Smith got up to slap the guy.
Well, I don't think that
woke
was
bullshit,
such a bad joke. And it wasn't like
it wasn't overly funny, and it wasn't
she's a very
offensive.
powerful woman. You know what I mean? So she was a Navy SEAL or Special Forces or something. So
it's also a reference from 25 years ago, so it's not a very good joke.
But I was more confused. I'm like, I know she has alopecia, right? Isn't that just balding? Don't men bald all the time? Don't they make jokes about that all the time? Is it? Oh, so they talk about
Tom, put the
alopecia.
microphone
Isn't
to
that
your
just men? Isn't that just balding? Isn't that all it really is?
It's not.
Just a
It's
fancy
not
name for
it's
it?
not male pattern baldness. It's a different thing where your hair falls out. But either way, the joke wasn't about her having alopecia. The joke was just about her haircut.
Yeah.
I think it's not woke. I think it's inverted wokeness from Will Smith. It's like, oh, I'm a chivalrous man. I'm going to defend my woman because she can't defend herself. So I'm going to go smack this guy. If anything, it's anti woke. But then in my situation, they tried to put me on the woke side. They tried to be like, well, we don't need to set a precedent for comedians getting attacked, and this is not acceptable, until they actually heard the joke that I said, and then I was overruled because my joke's offensive.
It was a bit odd though that he was laughing beforehand. Then he saw her face and kind of did a bit of a Kanye.
That's
sort of
exactly what happened to me, Dom. The boyfriend that slapped me laughed at my joke, and then he looked at his misso, and she was like, no. And then he went, oh, no.
So it's completely that in that situation that the guy, Will Smith, or this guy that slapped you, I suppose, they're under the thumb by the girlfriend or the wife who wears the pants in the relationship, and to overcompensate and try to make themselves feel and seem more macho in the eyes of their partner, they go way overboard. Or like you said, it was just straight staged, and then that argument kind of goes out the door.
Yeah, 100%. And now,
but if you look at their relationship, that Jada and Will Smith, he's an absolute cuckold, literally in the literal sense of the word, because they have an open marriage where she has had a long affair and then got caught, and then the marriage becomes open and she can sleep with whoever she wants. I don't know if he does as well, but you know what I mean? Like, how emasculating is that? He's castrated. And that's why he's overcompensated in the moment.
It was a weird reaction, I must admit. There was a couple, but even so, not only the reaction to looking at her and then changing your demeanour, which I thought was a bit odd, even sitting back down, like up until he sat back down, I entirely thought it was a skit. Like, that was the only part that I would actually query. That was, all right, maybe it's not a joke at this point, up until that point. And then what I find is really odd is, like, at what point can you go up and slap someone on stage and then just go sit back down? How is that allowed?
Yeah, why haven't security removed him?
I was like, what?
Well, that should have been what happened. He should have been, you know that scene in Casino where the guy disrespects the casino because he puts his boots up on the table, and De Niro goes, "I want you to march him out and open the door with his head." That's what should have happened to Will Smith. Security should have grabbed him, picked him up, and slammed open the door with his head. Yeah. And then the next stop should
Question
have been
is,
the
if that was
police
Mel
station.
Gibson, what would have happened?
But instead, 10 minutes later, he's up there accepting award for Best Actor and getting applauded and fake crying. The speech just topped it all off, mate. If you actually listen to the bullshit that he said, that I want to be a vessel for love, and oh my God. This is impossible that this is happening in reality.
I had to be a protector. Shut the fuck up, bro. What do you mean protector? It's 2022.
And it's art imitating life. My wife said to me this morning, she said, if anybody ever offended me and you're there, if you went and hit them, I'll be so pissed off with you because I can
so embarrassed.
I can handle
what
myself.
What are you doing, man? This isn't the footy pitch.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Also, Mello, if Mel Gibson doesn't get invited to the Oscars anymore, it's run by Jews. He doesn't get invited.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
That's always been the case. He was done straight after that happened. That was one of if we go back to one of our first ever podcasts, we actually discussed this. It was like, pretty much to the Academy, you can do whatever you want, just don't offend the Jews. That's it. This is basically the rule, because you can be Roman Polanski, you can be Woody Allen,
Harvey Weinstein.
you can be Harvey Weinstein, keep your award, but you make a Jewish joke, gone, no more.
Well, you're not getting invited after saying that. That's for sure.
That's the rule. That seems to be the rule. Like, there's no really. Why is Roman Polanski allowed to keep his Academy Award, and then they discuss about Will Smith losing his? That makes no sense at all.
Well, it's because they can't find him.
He won't lose his, because if they were to take his award off him, then you know what the claim will be.
Yeah.
Racism. All right? And so, because that's already come up, even though it was a black man against a black man, the racism argument has already been played. The card has already been played online, and that's as toxic as it comes. But imagine if the Academy took away his Best Actor award, it would definitely be the claim. You're being
but then
racist.
The Scientologists would all come up
black
and
people.
give him a
Everyone's
a
a victim
because he's like quasi. What is he like? Quasi Scientology. He's sort of in it, but sort of not at the same time.
Well,
The whole thing just stinks of the hypocrisy of Hollywood, mate. These people think that they can dictate to us, on whatever their activism of the day is, climate change or equal rights, equal pay, all the bullshit that they go on about. And then this is allowed to stand, and you get
the question
applauded.
Is Jim Carrey going to work again? That's what I want to know. After his little outburst.
Yeah, he doesn't give a shit. He'll be fine.
What he do?
It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really make too much of a difference to us.
What do you say,
because, like you said, Simon, you don't even watch it. I didn't watch it. I just saw the video for the thing. Truly, if you're somebody watching the Oscars and being influenced by what's happening and what the messaging is, then you deserve to be slapped by Will Smith too.
But we're the minority, Anthony. We look at it and all we do is laugh at it and critique it, right? But there are a lot of people out there who don't have the brain cells that we have, as many, and they are influenced by these repulsive people. You know what I mean? They are influenced. They look up to the Kardashians. These people are just they're just more Kardashians.
Hey, Kim Kardashian's gotten a lot of people out of jail that were falsely accused, so...
Yeah, kudos to that, yeah.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth, Simon.
A lot of people. Well, lucky for that big black cock that she sucked on, that she got to the status level now, not just the wealth, but the status
I think
level.
there's going to be a lot of
She can
editing
get
in this
people out of
episode.
jail, so
Yeah, very
thank God for that.
I will admit
it's going
about
straight to
Kim
air,
Kardashian.
don't
She's
worry.
extremely good at remaining relevant because in no point in her career was she relevant, but somehow she's always in the paper. They're always relevant in culture and pop culture. And I'm like, I don't know, I don't get it, I don't understand it, but kudos to whoever they do it because it works for them.
Let's move on to something that is near and dear and close to our hearts, and the most important topic in the world at the moment. And that's our beloved Azzurri, not
Italy
qualifying
sucked.
for a second World Cup in a row. Anthony,
Italy
how did you handle it, mate? Because I got to admit, just to put it out there quickly, I didn't give a shit. I'm indifferent to this team now. I've lost the passion for them. It'll come back eventually, but for this team, no. How'd you see it?
I'm the same as you. I was actually rather desensitized to it, to the point where I didn't even watch the match. I didn't watch the North Macedonia game. Yeah,
Oh wow!
So a week before,
Smart
I
move.
watched Juve play decently with a very, very depleted side against a very underrated Villarreal team, and then sort of get sucker punched and get really ignominiously knocked out of the Champions League. And again, I was in the middle of my Adelaide Fringe Festival run, and I kind of went, okay, whatever. And then I saw my favourite player for Juve get told that he will not be playing for the club next year, and he's sort of been kicked out, again ignominiously. And so when I'm sitting there on the Thursday night weighing up whether to set my alarm for 6:15 or whatever it was to get up to watch Italy North Macedonia, I said to myself, well, I'm going to wake up and see one of two outcomes. Either Italy are going to stutter to defeat North Macedonia on penalties or maybe with a fluky extra time goal, and it's going to be one of the most boring games I've ever seen in my life, or Italy are going to lose, and I don't want to see either of those two things. And so when I woke up and saw that they did lose, I kind of just chuckled and got on with my life because, like you say, well, what have we become used to? Having said that, if you had asked me, and I'll ask the three of you, and I know what your answer is going to be, if you had said to me that we sacrifice winning the Euro and we have, I don't know, Italy make it to the semi-final of both the Euro and the World Cup, I'm not taking that. I'm taking the Euro. And
Yeah, take
no
the Euro every
World
day of the
Cup.
week. Yep.
Yeah, I'll take the Euro.
Yep. Not even. Yep. Easy.
The Euro win meant nothing to me.
You're a hard man
Apart
to please.
apart from a statistic.
Far out.
This has been a shit team since before the Euros, and the whole world has been sucked in by that Euro 2020 victory.
So what
I
happened
think
in
that
the
this
Euro?
is actually a good team. I spent that whole tournament. I didn't celebrate once. You know, I tell a lie. When Chiesa scored his goal against Spain in the semi-final, I did a fist pump because it was a great goal. Chiesa is an exciting player to watch. But when Donnarumma saved the final penalty in the shootout in the final against England, I laughed and shrugged my shoulders. That's how I celebrated. Because they
So
did not
how did
deserve
they win the Euro?
any of
If
that.
they're a bad team, how did they win
This
the Euro?
team sucks.
That's
They
exactly
rode
what
their
every
luck and won
tournament
two
is.
penalty
Mark.
shootouts.
Every tournament's that. You could say that about any winner of any tournament.
They do not play good football at all. Look at the players.
I'll raise you
Look at
one,
the
Simon. You're going
players.
to
They
disagree
disgust
with me, right?
me.
The Italy squad is nothing without a strong Juventus. That is exactly what
No,
has
I
happened.
absolutely agree. They won
They
82
won-
because
they
of
won
Juventus.
2020
Probably
because of
2006
Juventus.
could make the same claim. I'm a Roma fan, but I'm not anti.
That's what it is.
All right, I fully recognise that historically Italy needs a strong Juventus, and I'm fully
That's all it
behind
is.
that.
That's all it stems down
Absolutely.
to. There's not enough.
Absolutely.
Look, the front three, and I've been saying since the Euro, Insigne should have been nowhere near that squad. He was nowhere near the player
Absolutely.
he was. Yeah, but the difference...
Immobile as well.
Yeah.
I've had these arguments
but
with
I'll
Mina
give
and
the-
Nikki. When we talk before
this is the
our,
thing about
our
Immobile.
podcast recordings, right, for Serie A Chronicles. Nikki's always been behind Immobile, and now I think
but the
she's
thing is,
changed her tune.
Immobile has
Finally,
had
but it's way too
form.
late.
Like he
You know what I
has
mean?
club form. He never translated that to the Italian team. All right, fine, but he's had club form. Insigne's been rubbish, actually rubbish. He scored 7 goals and 6 penalties, and he's a shit penalty taker. I'm like, why is this guy our starting?
But he shouldn't have even been a starting player at the Euros. He didn't do anything at the Euros.
Yeah.
Oh, he scored a beautiful goal against Belgium.
Yeah.
Go and watch that goal and see how much they back off him. Of course, he's going to get 1 in 10 shots on target. But look at all the other 10 or 20 shots he had in that tournament. They went to the fucking corner flag or rosette. And everyone's raving about Insigne. Seriously, mate.
Yeah,
Honestly, I couldn't stand that
Chiesa.
tournament.
That's obvious.
Couldn't stand it.
Real obvious.
There were shining lights of Euro 2020. Chiesa, Spinazzola, Donnarumma was fantastic. Bonucci and Chiellini were solid
Yeah.
at the back.
That's what happened.
Jorginho passed the ball sideways 5
Yeah,
metres.
but that's
pretty well.
fine when you've got.
What does he do? The centre midfielders
But
never
it's
shoot.
fine. Jorginho
never
can
score.
pass sideways because he's got Barella and he's got Verratti there with him. That's fine. But that midfield's not an issue.
That's not football.
midfield's not an
Football
issue.
is not passing sideways. Let's talk about Italian teams in Europe. You want to know what the problem is with Italian teams in Europe? Why Serie A can't bloody get anywhere in Europe, apart from not having as good players, player for player against as the other big teams. But Italian teams, except for Atalanta, have still not figured out how to play European football in the modern era. Do you know how you play it? It's all-out attack. That's Champions League, Europa League football. It's all-out attack. Worry about defending last. Okay? Score more goals. That's bloody an obvious cliche.
I
Score
agree
more
with
goals than
Simon,
you're going to
which is
concede.
why
Allegri will never
Which
win
is
the
why
Champions
last
League
year
and
the
doesn't
Champions
deserve
League and Europa League were won by the 2 most attacking teams left, Chelsea and Villarreal.
to. All right. There's always exceptions, fine. But that's European football. It's all-out attack.
All right, I'll disagree.
That's my
I
opinion.
disagree. I stand by defense wins your championship every day of the week.
You've got to go
it's
hard.
30th.
You've got to go hard.
It's the
You
30th
cannot
of March
sit behind.
2022. It's 6:04 p.m. here in Sydney. I'm recording this on Riverside, Chronicles on the fly with the boys, and this is where I said it here first. next year, Juventus are winning the Champions League.
Wow, here we go.
Ooh.
Big take.
Big take.
I like it. I like bold
love it. I
predictions.
love it.
All right, well, okay. I said about 2 months ago Juventus will win the Serie A this year.
Nah.
And I still haven't changed my mind.
Guys, remember, you guys.
Okay, well, if they beat Inter this weekend, if they
Yeah, but
beat Inter this weekend,
the only
change.
issue with this year. The issue with this year, right? It's you're not 7 points behind one team. You're behind three teams, and that's the
Exactly.
problem I see. It's not one team you're chasing three. So you have three times as many times they have to fail as one team having to fail. That's the reason they won't win it this year.
well, I haven't put any money behind it, but I did say it a couple of months back, so
I love
I've got
a
to
bold
hold on to
prediction
it.
song.
But to be honest,
They're
I
gonna
do
win.
want Milan to win.
We said it.
Oh,
We
Milan
both
are
said it
big
last
team.
time I was on here. Simon, you agreed with me that Milan are going to win. Don't change your horse now. Exactly.
That was 5 months ago.
Don't change your horse.
No, but having said that, I do want Milan to win it. I made the prediction. I changed my prediction, obviously, 2 months ago that Juventus will, and basically just because I thought that'll be typical. Juventus come from nowhere.
As long as Inter don't win. As long as Inter don't win.
They're not going
snatch
to
it.
win.
Well, no.
So,
Or Napoli.
I suppose
Or
this
Napoli.
raises
I hate Napoli.
raise another
Sorry,
question
they're
for me
like
now
Inter
that you
these
say
days.
that, Anthony. So, was letting Dybala the right move or the wrong move? Letting him go.
Objectively,
Be objective.
it was the right move. I think. Because
Emotionally?
he refused to, on the terms that they offered him.
Yeah.
If he had signed, yes, good. But he refused to accept those terms. He wanted the big boy money, and unfortunately, his injury record and, frankly, the way he fails to carry the team in difficult circumstances. Against Salernitana, he'll score a goal, score 2 goals. Against Spezia, against maybe even Roma, the small clubs. He'll score.
Changing my prediction. Roma's going to win the Serie A this year.
Other than an amazing tight angle free kick that I can remember against Atletico Madrid in the Champions League, or scoring 2 goals at Camp Nou to knock out a faltering Barcelona a few years ago, he's never been the guy at Juve. Tottenham, he played well against Tottenham, but he's never been the guy. Even Higuain was a little bit more the guy. Ronaldo was the guy. Tevez was the guy.
It's sad that he doesn't understand where he is. Where he's at in terms of quality and talent at this point of his career. He could stay at Juventus, earn less money, but you're still at
Juventus.
Juventus.
He may well.
Where are you going to go? Inter's not going to. If Inter's got
No,
half
they
the brain,
won't.
they're not going to give him the money that he wants.
I can imagine.
And I
him
don't
going
think
to
they need him
PSG and
anyway,
being part
you
of the tapestry of shiny things that they have over there.
There's a lot of talk on Atletico
Exactly,
on Twitter.
and then you just
Yeah, I don't see how they could fit him though. They've got like 6 different attackers.
They need another second striker, don't they? Far out.
Yeah, well, that's the
That's the
other
whole
thing,
squad.
Dom. What is a second striker? This is a position that doesn't even really exist
That's it.
anymore
It's
in
gone.
football.
It doesn't exist
and
anymore.
that's one of the big reasons why they kind of need to get rid of him, because he plays a position that doesn't really exist and ends up being a black hole to the rest of the team.
Yeah.
second striker. Would you say Morata playing off and providing for even?
Yeah, but
Vlahovic,
Morata
kind
also
of like a
feels-
second striker.
He also
he
fills
plays well in
a
that
winger role. He drifts out wide. He'll hustle and harry out wide. Dybala doesn't.
Yeah.
Dybala doesn't do anything. Dybala doesn't hustle and harry anywhere. I think switching to a traditional 4-3-3, as boring as it is to me, next year might be the go. They'll probably bring in somebody like Berardi to replace Dybala, which is underwhelming, but
Classic Juve.
whatever.
Sell a player, buy him back.
Did you see? Actually, Italy played the second game this morning in the friendly. God knows why they even had to, and they played Raspadori and Scamacca up front. Berardi, I think, went back home. And who scores the
Yeah, I
goal?
like Raspadori.
Gets 2 goals.
Yeah.
Fucking,
Pretty
been
pretty
saying it.
disappointing
We've been
first goal.
saying it.
Donnarumma there. Going to go straight through his legs.
I haven't even seen the highlights.
Yeah.
Even
I
the
mean,
second
yeah.
one. I don't know. There's 3 minutes of highlights on YouTube, and that's all it's worth, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because who cares?
Well, I
But
think the motion, like it's obvious that a lot of the Italian teams are still trying to cut spending, and just the quality of player drops when you cut in spending. That's what's happened to Serie A at the moment. The Spanish league's dealing with it as well. It's just the English league is far and away outpacing all the other ones. It's
where the money is.
It's where the money is.
I think the demise of Serie A is being a little bit overstated, to be honest, especially in the Champions League. Because if you consider what happened to the 4 clubs that represent Italy, so Milan with Calabria, Tomori, Mike Magnan, Hernandez, Benacer, Kessier, Brahim Diaz, Rafael Leao, Tonali, all these guys never played Champions League before in their entire lives. They get drawn in a group with Atletico Madrid, Liverpool, and Porto. Seasoned teams. They shit the bed. Okay, no worries. You hack it this season. Atalanta, but for a couple of late Cristiano Ronaldo goals and a Villarreal masterclass in the last game, Atalanta through to the next round as well. They played very good football in the group stage. Inter actually went down fighting against Liverpool, who are probably the best team in the world, and they did it without their best player, who was suspended for both games, Barella. And Juve, well, in any previous year where away goals are effective, then the Juve game against Villarreal at home becomes an advantage to Juve because we drew 1-1 in Spain. So instead of Villarreal just putting everyone behind the ball, they have to come forward and attack. If Vlahovic doesn't
play a
hit
different game, yeah.
the crossbar in the first half, if their keeper doesn't make a million saves, we're talking about a very different game. So, but for a couple of, shit happens, luck, the Italian teams are doing well. So I don't think there's.
Okay. So then, on the other hand, we could translate that argument also to Italy, and we could say, but for Jorginho missing 2 penalties in 2 games against Switzerland in the qualifiers, but for a couple shots that were miraculously saved against Bulgaria, we wouldn't have even had to play this qualifying stage, playoff stage to get and we would have been comfortably there. That's true. That argument holds for both. But so with that argument, is it not that bad for the national team at the moment?
Well,
they should
Bonucci's come out and kind of complained about it a little bit distastefully, but with merit. That there are certain
classic Bonucci.
Yeah,
well, that's not
but there are
Bonucci,
certain
but
teams in other qualification zones that have lost 4, 5, 6 games in qualifying and are still able to make the World Cup. Italy didn't lose a single game in the group, but they didn't make it because they weren't first. They get put into this instant sudden death knockout thing, and with a goal in the 91st minute, they're done. Peru have lost like 6 games in qualifying, and if Australia beat, who is it? United Arab Emirates, UAE,
I think.
then
Or UAE.
Australia will play against Peru to see who qualifies for the World Cup. Australia.
Did you see the Peru Uruguay game in the last minute? That guy pegged it, and the keeper caught it, and he walked back into the goal. and they said, and then it was like, I'm pretty sure he walked into the goal, and everyone's like,
Nah,
Well, it was
I saw
VAR.
the photo after, but it was on the line. The ball was still on the line. He didn't go over. I saw the photo.
Well, either way,
Yeah, well, who
They
knows?
got the
South
goal line
America probably wasn't
technology,
working.
surely.
Yeah,
either
no
way,
idea.
whether Australia or Peru or United Arab Emirates make it, indeed, you're going to have a shitter team than Italy in the World Cup, and that's just the way the cookie crumbles.
This is what I say. I've been saying this for years. I said it to Merrill as well. The World Cup, send 128 teams there, play knockout from round 1. Just play knockout the entire time. Don't worry about this group stage shit that they do where they play 3 games. Scrap that shit.
Be a pretty
Play
long
knockout.
tournament.
No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't. It'd be a week longer. Because the winner now plays 7 games. If you started with 128 teams, the winner plays 7 games. Whatever.
In one
who cares how
country,
you
or
do
maybe
it?
in 2
Just Who
countries?
gives a shit? They do 2 countries. They do that now anyway.
The point of the World Cup is that everyone comes
Thank you,
together
my point.
and makes a shitload of money for FIFA in
Yeah.
one concentrated area.
Yeah,
right?
the other problem with that
That's how
rule
they
is that
make-
you
they
end
make
up
their
with
money.
Brazil, which wasted a shitload of money on a World Cup, and everyone else was starved. It was pointless sending it to Brazil. Yes, they're a soccer country, but they can't afford to hold it. It's just a waste of money. It's
those
just a waste of
stadiums that
money.
they
All
built
those
are
countries
now
is always a
crumbling in
waste of
Brazil.
money.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, if you do that, just do 128 teams. At least you'll get some upsets. How cool would it be if that was a World Cup and you had a shitty small team beat like a world power 92nd minute
North
winner?
Macedonia beat Italy.
Beat Italy,
Same,
92nd minute.
I
That's
was
awesome.
praying North Macedonia would beat Portugal. That would be
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
that'd be
yeah,
awesome.
no, that's so was I.
Oh,
So was I.
up the Massos.
yeah, we'll have to. But it doesn't really matter because I'm not going to
yeah.
watch the World Cup anyway.
You got
Time
better
to
things
boycott.
Australia's there, I
to
might
do.
watch 3 games. But
You got better things to do.
what's that? Well, if Australia's there, I'll watch their 3 games. That they'll.
Do you know what? I really liked watching. I really liked
but
watching
I
the
don't think I'll get
2018
there anyway.
World Cup as a total neutral.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I only watched
It
the
was
final
fun.
of that. That was it. And that was a farce, the final, because Croatia were robbed. in
I
my
enjoyed
opinion.
it.
But
I
I
didn't
mean,
mind
France
the
were a
18
better
World
team,
Cup.
but on incidents,
Didn't want
during
France
the
to win
game,
it. I was like,
Croatia was
anyone but France. Maybe the ingrained Italian in me was like, don't let it be France. And of course,
We're going to be saying, don't let England.
Who do you support? Who do you not so much support, but who would you prefer to win if even if Australia's going to be there, they're not going to be good enough to win it. But who would you want to win it now?
yeah, that's
Me.
pretty
Someone
much.
that has never won it before.
Yeah, who would you pick?
Serbia.
Oh,
Serbia.
Why?
Vlahovic, my
Why
boy.
Serbia?
That's where every Juventino's
okay.
a Serbian now.
I'm tossing
God.
up between one of those. Yeah, so the Croatia, Serbia, those sorts of guys. Why not? Give them a go.
Senegal would be a good shout.
Maybe
Why not?
Maybe I'll say Croatia just because they
Croatia.
Did the Dutch
Croatia
make
made
it?
last-
Did the Dutch
in the
through?
last-
Dutch
Yeah,
made
they
it,
made
yeah.
it. So,
Croatia made it, but they're
Oh,
not
did
making
Croatia
it
not
out of
make
the
it this
group
time?
stage.
nah, they haven't been very good.
Okay.
Aging midfield, unfortunately. Even though their midfield was quality, yeah, definitely aging midfield.
Well, Australia definitely, if they make it, won't qualify past the group stage.
No,
No
terrible.
way.
Mate, I watched that game against Japan and I was like, my God.
No, I don't know any of these Australian players
he had
apart from Matt Ryan, the keeper.
I don't think he had a good night.
The rest I don't know. Is
He's
Rogic?
injured.
Yeah,
Has
he's in
Rogic
there.
been playing?
he didn't play the last one.
Okay, obviously I know
But
Tom
their
Rogic.
team's just
But where these players play, I just don't follow those leagues, so I don't know and that includes the A League. I don't follow.
You're
the
missing
A-League,
out on
so
the
I don't know
Belgium
players.
league, Simon. It's pretty good.
What else? What else we got, guys, to discuss?
I did.
Did you bring
actually,
topics? I told you to
Simon,
bring some
if you would
topics.
like to know, I have done
Lay them
that.
on the line.
So,
Of course.
well, I was going to
That's what I'm
chat
asking you.
about Shane Warne. I know you're not a cricketer, but I think we should give a shout out to probably
Shout
one
out
of
to
the
Shane.
greatest characters
Valet.
in Australian history.
Valet.
Yeah, very much so.
No, I
I
shed a tear.
I did too, and I always maintain that I used to say, okay, anyone who was not the greatest of blokes, like, I'll put this way, but have a sketchy past with things, but is universally loved, I call them, they're the Shane Warne of that, whatever they are, right? Because Shane Warne basically did some pretty shady shit in his time, but there ain't one person who doesn't love Shane Warne. Honestly, like you think about what he got done for cheating, he got done for drugs, he got done for match fixing, he got done for cheating on his wife. He got that. Ain't no
Yeah,
one
I was
person that doesn't
silent.
love Shane Warne.
Oh,
I'm
come
telling
on,
you, man.
please. Yeah, how can you
I love
he
Shane
just
Warne
gave
still.
pitch report. That's not match fixing.
It's literally done for that. That's what it's called.
He did not.
He didn't get paid for it.
The did he get a ban or was it a fine?
Man,
for the
he was
match
never
fixing
captain of
thing?
Australia because of that.
Yes, that's true. He was naive, but he was not fixing any games, and I also don't believe that he took
I
drugs
guarantee
on
he would have
purpose.
taken drugs to lose weight because that was
Yeah.
Shane Warne. But it's still
Yeah, but
against
that's what it
rules.
was. It was a weight loss
Still
drug.
against
And the
rules.
sad
All right.
part was, that drug,
yeah, okay.
within 3 months, while he was suspended, came off the ban list.
See
All
what I
it is
mean?
a diuretic.
You're proving
You know what
my
I mean?
point. You're
All it does is make you
literally proving
piss.
my point. You're doing exactly what people do. You're doing it right now. This is what I'm talking about.
Easy does it. Leave my.
You're doing, I love Shane Warne.
letting him
right?
off the
But
hook,
you're
Mel.
you're excusing all the behaviour because he's Shane Warne.
Mate, he's a superstar.
He was.
there you
I've
go.
always said
Exactly.
he's the Maradona of
Exactly.
cricket.
That's it.
So there you go. Maybe Maradona was a Shane Warne.
Big call. I like it. We're calling that. We're supposed about to change the stadium now, eh? The Warne, one of the Warne stadiums. Well, they've changed the name of the wing, haven't they? For the MCG and the SCG, or just the MCG?
The Shane Warne stand.
I think they did something the SCG as well. That's pretty cool.
What did they take the name off?
Nah. Yeah.
It was the Ponsford.
I think about it like that.
The MCG.
Maradona has the
Whoever
record
was.
for being the only guy to have a stadium named after him in 2 different countries. Like, that's a wicked honour. Like, he's got one in Argentina, and then he's obviously got the São Paulo, right?
Yeah, but one claim that he doesn't have, Elizabeth Hurley.
That's true. He might. I don't know. It was Maradona.
He might.
So, it was Maradona. Who knows? It's possible. It's possible. He got
Smoking.
She's ridiculous, mate. She's in her late 50s, and or maybe mid, and she's still ridiculous.
Purely what was amazing was a friend of ours who posted something on Facebook. He said, Val Shane Warne. And the photo he put up was a photo of Shane Warne with 4 women. And I was like, that is the perfect encapsulation of Shane Warne. That's
just the photo.
The video.
Not to mention the video.
Thing to do. But I mean, he will always be like he's Shane Warne. He's taken too early, unfortunately.
Like there's a couple of good stories that came about him that no one knew. Like the one Eddie Maguire said when they were in New York City, and he gave tickets to the Bangladeshi taxi driver. The guy was like blown away. You know what I mean? Yep. There's a few stories like that come out. It's like holy crap, you know? It's amazing. And
yeah, I love those stories about, celebrities that, they're bigger than anyone. And, then you hear these things that they've done that they've kept
when
quiet.
he went to the Rajasthan Royals there.
That's brilliant. But
that first season, amazing. Amazing. How they were last, had no hope.
How they were last and they were
he put a bit of hope into them, a bit of faith into them. He said, boys,
brought them back to
inspired all these young guys. And look at them, they won the championship. No one gave them a chance in hell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was brilliant.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Anthony, you're noticeably quiet there. You obviously are not into cricket in any way, shape, or
sometimes
form,
I have what do you call it? Insomnia, and then I'm very interested in cricket.
Very good. It's funny you say that because there's 2020 cricket and one-day cricket, and I got no interest in those. But a test match,
the other way around for a lot of people.
I like. And that's obviously, it would be, in your opinion, the boring form, the most boring form.
What about Formula One? Want to talk Formula One?
If I sat for an hour, I couldn't tell you the difference between those things, Simon. So,
we're going to talk Formula One?
Formula One, nah. But I do accidentally go to Melbourne every year during the Formula One weekend and get slugged double for flights and accommodation without realising. So I am affiliated.
Yeah, awesome. Looking forward to this season. Not going to be just Mercedes, so it's a good start so far.
Two
Ferrari,
double podiums in a row. It's not bad.
I don't know if you're aware of what happened last week, but it was it was a terrorist attack actually happened, but it was a missile attack in Saudi Arabia while they were racing, so they could see the smoke and stuff while they were on the track, and they decided to race anyway. And I'm like, I was like, okay,
fair bump, play on.
No, you're not going to cancel it. All right, then, no worries, continue on.
But they reckon they wouldn't have been allowed to leave if they pulled up stumps.
Yeah,
sorry, there's another cricket reference.
It was real suspect, but that's.
So
I've got this real annoyance with a lot of leagues. Like the Italian league does it, where they play in Saudi Arabia for some unknown reason. The Spanish do it. They all do it, and I'm like, I don't like. Obviously, the money's a draw card, but I'm like, everyone wants to make this stand about politics and about equal rights and shit, and then you just happily accept the money and stay quiet while you do it. It's the hypocrisy in that too.
It's just like what's going on with Russia, Ukraine at the moment. All right, they've done a bunch of these sanctions on Russia, but how many of these countries are still, taking their oil, their gas, and they've still got their deals.
Abramovich has
changed.
Abramovich has been relieved of Chelsea because his country is involved in the bombing of the Ukraine, but you don't see the Premier League trying to relieve, or indeed British government trying to relieve the owners of Newcastle United or Manchester City of their ownership, despite the fact that their countries have been bombing Yemen for a lot longer than Ukraine.
So is it stupid hypocrisy? No, it's amazing that they put this stance on Abramovich now, right? Which I'm not saying they shouldn't have, whatever, that's the case. But like 3 months ago or 4 months ago, you okayed the Saudi Arabia deal. I was like, really? Now, so it's only just now you realise this. Did you know this 4 months ago or something like that? It's all hypocrites.
Did Abramovich get poisoned or something?
Yeah. How's that, eh?
So he's actually been part of the truce or peacemaking negotiations between both sides.
Yeah.
He seems to be the key guy. He's he's the messenger. He's passing letters from Zelensky in Ukraine.
So apparently the Russians,
Putin.
they poisoned the negotiators and Abramovich. That they got, and I was like, wow, that's a ballsy move. Should we say? All right.
I wonder if they meant to do it to
I don't think they accidentally poisoned
damage.
people.
I don't know, but
that's what Russians do.
Yeah. But have you guys been following the war over there at all?
Just highlights on YouTube, man.
Yeah.
Low lights.
Well, I was gonna say, like, some of the highlights on YouTube. I've been watching clips from Vice News. My God, that's some of the best war reporting I've ever seen. And I'm saying this about Vice, who's very left wing, but they've been like camped out with soldiers and all kinds of stuff.
It's the first real war with
unbelievable to watch
media, really.
But
so
like a shitload of social media
content. Got to get
Got
to get TikTok.
Original
TikTok
content
isn't going to sleep.
And I tell you, there's a bunch of social media. If there's bad pictures or videos that go up, a lot of it gets deleted. But if you follow certain channels on Telegram, some of the things that I've seen on there, like gruesome stuff, like people. It's just lots of excuses for people to go around murdering, and it's all on video.
That's what it is. Unfortunately,
it's
we're a bit reserved. We're a bit. We don't. I suppose we don't really feel the impact because it's not. This is the.
Oh, we're feeling it at the Bowser. I can tell you.
No, but I get that, but we don't. I mean, we're an island on the other side of the world. I don't know if we really understand the impact it has on people.
Oh, the context, yeah.
When we're here,
are we feeling it at the Bowser because of the war, or are they just
definitely
using
both?
I think to pump up the prices? Because do we get our petrol directly from?
No, but it's
Russia?
supply and
Isn't it ours
demand.
more
So
from
when
the
the
Middle East?
supply
How's this
rushes,
work?
the demand's up. So there you go, pay more. But Joshy gave us a little bit of a cut.
So
this
it's just
week,
that
didn't he?
there's been a depletion of oil from the pool.
And any
kind of
chance they
thing.
get to raise the price.
Yeah, right.
Because that's what petrol stations do, right? What is it? What is it over there in Sydney now? What's the dollar value now?
I couldn't tell you guys.
Not tell.
I really
the
couldn't
$2
tell
as well. Crazy.
I cycle everywhere.
He gets the
No,
train.
it's no tram
monorail
here
there
just
now.
yet, but I have been cycling everywhere. I've become one of those dickheads.
No, yeah.
Have you gone to an electric cycle?
No.
No. You're going just stick to the traditional Pinarello, and that's it.
I've got to keep. I've got to keep match fit, gentlemen. Stand-up comedy is not. Stand-up comedy takes a lot of stamina.
You could join the crew here and just get an e-scooter. I swear they're everywhere now.
They had them in Adelaide, where you just get the app and you type it in and you just go for a ride. It's cool.
Scoot your way around Adelaide.
Are they in Perth?
Yeah, they're
They're on
everywhere now.
the streets.
Yeah, so they're all on. So along the coast, at any point along the coast, you can pick one up and ride all the way down the coast if you wanted to. So
What about in the city? Because I don't want to pay for Ubers.
There is, but most people have their own. A lot of people just carry their own and just jump on and off because the public transport's free in the city, so they just jump on and off. And then when you're out of the city, you ride it there. But they're everywhere now.
Public transport's free.
Yeah, they got these buses called cat buses. You can just jump on them as long as you're within the city. Yeah, you can just get around the way. Yeah.
Look for the cat, the yellow cat, the red cat, the green cat, and the blue cat.
Okay, yeah.
I'm so excited.
We should be sponsored by Tourism.
Yeah, but there's no cheap way to get to Roto though, so don't listen to anyone who tells you there is, all right?
Maybe when you send a clip,
you could
send
swim.
a clip to Tourism WA to ask for sponsorship. Don't send the one where you said that Kim Kardashian was sucking a big black cock.
I might have to do some edits.
Maybe just a couple beeps will do the roll.
It's true, but it's like that's where it
Hey,
all
we've all got
starts.
to start somewhere.
Let's be honest.
Well, she was actually, wasn't she?
Yeah, what's her name?
Paris Hilton's
Paris Hilton's,
closet
yeah.
assistant or something.
Yeah, she was Paris Hilton's personal assistant for a little while.
Mate, she was ahead of the curve when you think about it. She was doing reality shows before we knew what reality shows were. Holy shit. She was, mate.
It's ahead of
It was,
curve.
was
it curved? Was it curved? I don't
Possibly.
know.
I didn't critique it that much.
But was it Chris Pratt? Dom had that joke.
Yeah, but a comeback story. My
Oh.
favorite comeback story.
They talk about his favorite comeback story, and he goes, "Oh, I'm pretty sure Kim Kardashian had a comeback story." And they go, "What are you talking about?" Yeah, she had a video with come on her back.
Chris,
That was
cut that one
You
out.
reckon I got to make
that
some
was
out of
brilliant.
it?
It was funny.
How's that
It was
one?
fun.
Yeah, he has a few of those. All right. What, Simon, you know what I'll ask? I want a light-hearted one now, but maybe we should. No, one more light-hearted one.
I was going to
What I
wrap
wanna
it
do
up.
is-
All right, Dom.
Borders are now
Go on,
open in
go,
WA
go.
finally. Finally, all right? Best, all right. First, I'll say, should we say first place you want to go to internationally? Or where do you miss? What do you miss internationally, and where would you want to go? Finally open. I'll ask you first, Simon.
You're asking me? Oh, well, obviously to Italy. To follow the Serie A up and down the
First on
peninsula.
the booking. I know, it's a shame, isn't it?
It's been a long
I
time since I
expect the
did that.
prices to be crazy. Have you booked it yet, or
But
what?
yeah, I'd want to go to Europe.
Get on there.
No,
book
I
it.
haven't booked anything. I'm not.
Low cash. What are we talking? Back to Italy.
Oh, well, I've been able to go anywhere for a while now, but
That's true. Yeah, just pretend. Just pretend
I was,
for our
supposed,
benefit.
I was supposed to go to Japan a couple of years ago.
Oh,
So I
wicked.
really want to go to Japan. I think I am actually going to Greece later in the year, so that'll be nice.
Beautiful.
Assuming you guys get all your cousins to buy tickets to my show, and I make money in Perth, then I'll be able to afford it. So
Nah, we'll get it done.
step up. Yeah, that
Get it done.
and Italy as well, obviously.
Yeah, that's it. I'm actually impartial to Singapore. I'm actually looking forward to get back to Singapore one day.
Maybe go and watch the Super.
Yeah,
Cup
Yeah,
in
maybe
Saudi
not
Arabia,
after the comments we
something like
made here. I don't. Nah,
I'd like to go to Malaysia.
Won't be
Back to
allowed in.
Malaysia again.
yeah.
that. You won't
That's
be
it,
allowed
that's it.
out.
My problem, my
You'll be
concern
held
is getting
hostage.
back, I think, rather than getting there.
Mela wants to go to Malaysia. No one asked him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
That's
won't
it.
need the answer. It's fine.
I want to go have a cold beer. A cold beer in Malaysia.
Yeah, that was
Malaysia
just.
for GP.
Yeah,
or-
I'd like to go for the MotoGP. but
MotoGP,
Just Malaysia. I like that place.
I do miss getting on a plane.
It's affordable. It's good.
I'll be
It's
going there.
cold.
I'll be going sooner rather than later. My partner is Malaysian, so we'll be going soon.
Oh, Malaysia Bule.
That's it.
Oh, awesome.
That's it, Malaysia Bule.
Beautiful.
Go Malaysia. Like,
Was that
Forza
What's
Italia,
up?
same
What's
thing.
Italia?
Same thing.
Okay.
Pro.
Are they in the World Cup? We can
Mate,
get
they're
behind
big
them.
EPL supporters everywhere there, mate. EPL,
That'd be
EPL. Crazy over there.
This is because they package their product, right? Serie A's big problem, and I don't know if have you listened to the latest episode of Serie A Chronicles? Anthony?
Today's with
one that came out
what's
this
his name?
week, yesterday.
With, Adriano. I'm halfway through.
With Adriano Damonte. Oh, it's so some of the things that he says is very spot on about how the marketing and the PR that they are just so inept at, and the broadcast rights and everything. Because this year we had 2 maybe 3 hours before the kickoff of the first match, they finally did the deal for KO and Foxtel to get the feed from beIN. It's such a balls up, and how they just don't pay attention to packaging the product for the rest of the world. And then you've got leagues like the Bundesliga and the Premier League that just come in and take over because they care about the product
Too
being
much,
seen
too much
internationally.
bureaucracy,
Serie A.
too
This
much
is one of the
red
big problems
tape,
with Italian football.
too many forms to sign. Nothing happens. I've been waiting for my Italian. Italian
wants to lift a
passport
finger.
for 3 years. No one said anything about it. We sent our documents off, and they've given us shit. There was a guy in Napoli who got busted for taking 35 years worth of checks from hospital that he never worked at. They were paying him for 35 years straight, and because it was just pure paperwork the whole time, nobody checking anything, no one doing anything, they paid him for 35 years straight, a wage from a hospital, never worked a day in his life.
Yep.
It's Italy's joke.
Did they expect him once
Yeah, of course,
they found that?
but
Did
I
they
don't
expect
think
him
he
to
will.
go
He didn't
back?
pay back.
He's
Not under
not
the
got the money
pillow.
saved in his bank account.
I'll tell
He
you a
would have been
story my
blowing that
dad
for
told me
sure.
once about working for the government in Italy, about a guy there who got a job at the post office. He tells a story. He got a job at the post office, which back then was a very, very good job. And he said all of a sudden nobody was receiving their mail. All right, whatever. The post service, no one thought anything about it. Until they'd go to the beach and saw all these letters being washed up at the beach. So instead of the guy driving around posting the mail, he would take the mail and just throw it in the ocean every day. Dad's like, I have no idea why you'd think that would work, first of all. But, like, you could have done so many things. But throw it in the...
Bury it. Throw it in the bin.
I don't know, man.
Well, if you throw it in the ocean, if it's
Shred
meant
it.
to be, it'll find you.
it's
It's
right.
destiny. It'll come to you.
Far out. I'm just like...
Yeah.
Maybe
there's
put some letters
logic
in a
to
bottle.
that at all, and that's it explains the Italian postal service, to be honest. But that'd explain why you're waiting 3 years for your passport, man.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
just have to wait at the ocean there.
But did you do it in Sydney through the consulate there, or?
Yep.
Classic.
Yeah, did it in Sydney through the consulate. Went to two different sessions at the consulate. We were told on 2 different occasions that we had the wrong paperwork, even though we brought the exact paperwork that they told us to bring the previous time.
Classic.
And yeah, just a schmozzle. But that's yeah.
Mate,
Such
when I
an
did mine, it
Italian
was a bit of a
story.
pain in the
It's-
backside, but I worked it all out. What did it take
about
us?
12
6 months, a year?
No, it was 6 months because we had to wait for the appointment. It was 6 months. Then it was
Yeah,
12
6 months,
months
but-
all up. 'cause we
But
had
once
to
I
wait.
knew what I was doing, I told my mate, and I said, this is what you got to do. But before you go there, I said, go get this, go get your certificate, go get your mum's marriage certificate, get your nonna's certificate, all this stuff. Get it all translated, get copies. So when he went there, they said, oh, you need to do this. He goes, I've done it. You need to do this. I've done it. And it took him 6 weeks in the end. He got it in 6 weeks.
That's got to be a record.
It was.
Yeah,
I
it was.
do a bit of work for the Patronato here in Perth, and they've got a guy who comes and manages. So he lives in America, and he manages Oceania, North America, South America, and Africa. And so I asked him once. So here it takes about a year to 18 months to do it. And he said they got issues in other countries. So Brazil, the current wait time is 15 years for an appointment. And I'm like, really? He's like, yep. 15
That's
years.
why the Brazilians go to Italy to do it.
Yeah, it's why they all fly over there and live there for a bit to get their passport. Because if your parents don't do it for you and you sign your name on today, it's now pushed out to about 15 years. But there's also a bit of pressure from the European Union to stop giving out so many passports. So it ain't like the Italians were giving out like a lot. And I'm like, at the same time, you knew the rule before you entered the European Union. You knew that was the case. It's always been the case since the 80s, right? But that's just what it is. So we spending 18 months here to do it is actually probably one of, if not the fastest in the world, weirdly enough. Italian bureaucracy, mate.
Best.
Classic.
I
isn't it?
gotta bounce, gentlemen. Thank
Yeah,
you so
no problem,
much for
mate.
having me.
Wrap it up.
Yeah, I was going to say let's wrap it up. Anthony, before we go, just tell us again those dates that you're going to be here,
The
and
6th
also
and
where
the
to get the
7th
tickets.
of May, 2022. And it'll be at 7:30 at the Regal Theatre. And if you go to the PerthComedyFestival.com and just search my name, that's where you can get tickets. Or you can see my
Awesome.
Instagram and the links will be there.
We'll
Looking forward to it.
Thank you,
Thank
mate.
you so
Appreciate
much,
your time.
gentlemen.
You take
Who
care.
knows,
you.
who
It'll
knows
be
what
good.
somber Italian news
All
we'll
right,
have
mate.
to talk about by the next time I see you guys.
Oh,
Well,
please.
it could
don't.
be that AC Milan still on top.
The worst would be Inter winning. That would be
Oh.
depressing.
That's devastating. Don't say that.
No, no,
After they
no.
draw 0-0 with Juve this weekend, it's not going to happen.
Italian masterclass. Take care, mate.
All right, guys.
Ciao.
I'm good. Ciao, ciao. All right, see you uploaders.